Hola Madrid, this is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. Um, El Derby, three for Atleti, one for us. A comprehensive loss. Well, there you go. A very comprehensive head to toe. I wouldn't say hammering, but it was a mental hammering for people who were watching at home, people who were in the stadium. Our boys were in the stadium. I have no idea why I sent my, uh, you know, beloved mate Sid all the way from suburbs of Madrid, to the outskirts, all the way to Metropolitano. He was, down with heavy fever, and basically he had to find inner strength to actually go down there and watch and talk to people and all that. For what? For what? For this team to actually not give us a chance from the get go. The coaching staff to not give us a chance even before a ball was kicked was shambolic. Honestly, we all knew this was coming. We could see how this diamond formation, or there was no diamond. There were no shapes in the first half. Let's just put it that way. Free for all, battle royale. That was what I saw in the first half. Nobody even knew what they were supposed to do. People were looking over each other's shoulder, running into each other's spaces. Just abhorrent, horrifying stuff to watch. I don't think even a team as low as Stock City would go through a phase like this where they would second guess, what should I do next? That was what Carlo and his coaching staff prepped us for the El Derby. This is not Las Palmas away, not Girona away. We'll see when Girona comes by in a few days. We'll really test our metal against one of the high flying teams in La Liga now and get absolutely battered, if we put up a performance like this. But big up everyone in the chat. You guys have been sending in essays. I'll read it out in a bit. But before that, welcome our esteemed panel, Mo and Jacob. Mo, how has it been, man, for you tonight? I hope it has been better than it has been for me, at least.
I mean, that expecting too much. When you're talking, when you're doing the introduction, an interesting
Mm.
fact came in, like an interesting thing came into my mind. Before the game, there was somebody who was talking about taking his father to the game. He was talking about how this was his first game for his father in like
Yeah,
a long time,
yeah.
watching Madrid for the first time, and this
Hmm.
is how the game went. So respects to the guy, respects to the father. I feel sad for them. This is the
Sorry to
game they
cut
have.
you off. Sid actually did the same thing today. Sid actually got tickets for a mate of his and his dad, and it was his dad's first Al Derby as well. So there you go, two guys dead on their
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, so this is a pretty sad game to go to, and respects to everybody, even Sid and his friend and his father and everybody else. As for how I felt after the game, feeling better than you, that's asking for too much. I was actually gonna say, I was actually gonna ask you, maybe I don't show up today, but then I thought that would be a loser's mentality. If you have lost, you
We
show
have
up.
been here after the 4-0.
Yeah,
Remember?
so yeah, you definitely have to show up. So here I am showing my face. I want to say I told you so about the formation, but yeah, I'm gonna resist it. You talked about like there not being any formation. Ancelotti did a press interview and he said the idea was to play like the diamond with Modric at the 10 and Bellingham forward. For me, I never saw that happen.
Never.
Yeah, so but Ancelotti probably had some dreams in which it did happen. I don't really have any words to talk about it, man. Come on, like I just hope we do better against Las Palmas midweekend. Against Girona. I'm scared a little right now.
Mm. Las Palmas will be okay, but I've had a couple of heart attacks myself. Watching games against Las Palmas. Back in the day. But yeah, Girona, I don't think we stand a chance.
We,
Jacob,
we play Girona at the weekend, right? If I'm not wrong.
next weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah. Okay, that's gonna be interesting, definitely.
Mm. Jacob, man, talk to me.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm gonna be an echo chamber and echo all of your thoughts.
Hmm.
Yeah, just saw no direction in the team, and we didn't take. I feel like after a point, I stopped taking the game seriously. I was just in it looking for like funny challenges, funny stuff to watch out for, because I never saw this team winning, and like even Mo echoed that feeling as well. Like he said, if we could have 10 matches against these guys, and there's not a chance that we win any single one of them. if we go out with the same formation with the same tactics as today. So for me, I just didn't take it seriously. So the loss hasn't hit me truly yet. But then the reality is like we're third in La Liga right now. Fucking Girona is on top of us. Barcelona is on top of us. So yeah.
Yeah, it's peak. It's peak. Girona being on top of us is, basically Steve down in Stockport, having a couple of points to that, to basically Girona being above us. He'll be gleefully, his evil grin would be, all over his shiny face. Big up Steve. I hope he's not relishing all this. I hope he, uh, lets us buy for this
Man,
weekend. But
Sunil, I need to interrupt you to say something. Huh?
Mhm.
Ancelotti was asked in the press conference to like, why didn't Tchouaméni play and why did Cruz and Modric start? He said, I wanted to keep the ball, and Tchouaméni needed a rest after playing a lot of minutes. I don't really know how I react to that.
Fucking hell.
I have no idea, man, because I've written it down right here. Chouameni not starting was a big, big bad decision from Carlo. From the get go, it was giving me vibes of basically throwing the game away.
City
Because
last
See,
season.
we're already like
Yeah.
missing
Away.
4 starters, and then it doesn't help if the manager takes out our other 2 starters.
honestly, there you go. Jacob has nailed it. Chouameni has been one of our brightest sparks this season. In a midfield that has at times controlled games very well. Chouameni has been that shield that we needed, and this obsession with playing Cruz, or sometimes Camavinga drops deep, yeah, but then Cruz is always there. Like that's his. I don't know if it is a coaching decision or if Cruz is gradually, more inclined to actually drop deep and dictate. But I don't get some of these decisions, man. Like honestly, this is why Farouk loses his mind. Like I'm actually completely on his side tonight, because tonight I can't defend Carlo. There was no iota of instruction, direction, any sort of plan going into Atleti. The thing is, over the years we have seen Atleti play 4-4-2, five at the back, all sorts of stuff. But we always know that their game plan would be to sit tight and counter, right? Even in the preview, Jacob, we discussed this. Like opening few minutes, they're gonna come at us crazy, yeah, right? And then when we get a slight foothold in the game, they're gonna go back into their shells. But when did they really go back into their shells? Apart from the last 10 minutes in the first half, that's 80 minutes
So I don't
gone.
really agree with you on that. I think
Right.
Atleti, after they scored the 2 goals, like the first half, the only phases that we were bright in, because we maintained a lot of possession. Those times when I think we played because Atleti stopped playing.
Yeah, that's also true.
Even in the second half, that was the same story, because Atleti got their goal and then stopped playing.
They just stopped playing. I know.
And we had the ball and they said, yeah, do whatever you want. We are not going to be bothered about it.
True.
So
True.
I guess that was it. For me, the bigger issue for Real Madrid, other than handling transitions, was the fact that they fully exploited the formation. They fully exploited our weaknesses on the wings, and I expect Barcelona to do the same thing. I've said this before as well. When we play against the big teams, they're going to take advantage of how this whole formation is set up, and I think today we saw a trailer of it. I fully expect that Barcelona are going to do even worse, because they actually have a pretty competent striker in front, and they have wingers who can exploit our players, and their midfielders can also make runs. Barcelona actually plays football, unlike Atleti. So I shudder to think what will happen. I saw somebody talk about Champions League and say hopefully we show up, but I don't really think it's a matter of showing up. I think we lack quality tactically as well as like in the personnel.
Personnel as well.
Yeah.
Big up every single one in the chat. I'm gonna read starting from Tasaliba's last comment. He said Rodrigo's hesse with technique. There you go. I'm fed up with this guy. He had the chance to show us. If he is really that guy, I'm shocked how average he is. I really hoped him to be what I thought him to be. Rodrigo, whenever you give him the ball, like he puts in his all. Yeah, like I can't fault him for his effort, but he runs into alleyways that he's never going to recover from. I have no idea what his thought process
I
is,
mean,
honestly.
he's not going to be doing, like, he can't do anything differently when you don't really have another striker playing alongside him and you don't have
I
any
know, I
forward.
know, I know.
Somebody has to come around and take away
It, it is
players.
it is the
What
fault
is he going
of
to
the
do when, like,
system.
three,
It is the
four?
fault of the system. But people expect Rodrigo to be so much more.
I mean, okay,
See,
that's fine, but
right? Like when you
how do
see
you get across
this,
four players? How do you dribble
I
across
know, I
four
know,
players?
I know, I know, I know. See, I'm Rodrigo's biggest fan over here, right? Like I'm not gonna slander him for the faults of the board, right? The blood is on their hands. It's not exactly Carlos' fault either. Like if he actually had a proper striker and something to build up from, like this team would look so much better. But when I speak about Rodrigo, it's sometimes his decision making. Like I just don't get it, because whenever he came on like a couple of seasons ago, even last year, and he comes from the bench, I think he has a sharper instinct. I just
So,
don't know,
okay,
man. Like
you're talking about decision making, right? Let me give me
right.
an example. Help me understand better.
Right. So when he actually was playing down the left, right, his combinations with Mendy or his combinations with Fran Garcia, like he expects the fullback to always put him in behind, right? And that's his only outlet. Otherwise, what he does is take on 3, 4 players instead of sometimes squaring it off to the midfield. Like
I
I saw him do
Like,
like maybe a couple of times,
okay,
but that's not enough,
here is what I say to that situation, right?
right?
Why is he making that decision? He's making that decision because we had literally zero threat in the box, right? So
I
when
know,
he's combining with a fullback or when he's combining with anybody else, first of all, I don't really think he's combining with anybody because there's nobody around him.
I
But
know.
when he
But the
does
few
combine,
occasions,
the reasons why he's making that run is because somebody has to be in the box to receive a pass and create some threat. Him running, making that run at least takes away some players, right? Everybody else who's in our attack they don't really make any runs that opens up space. If you look at Real Madrid last season, Vinicius, Benzema, Rodrigo, whenever they played, they made these runs that freed up the other guy. But this time around, we don't really see it. And this is what I mean when I talk about lacking tactical quality, lacking in personnel, quality in personnel.
well, I agree with you. I disagree with you as well. Like I
Okay,
completely get
that's
your
fair.
point.
That's fair.
I
You like,
completely agree
if
where you're coming from. Like,
somebody's
yeah.
saying Rodrigo needs to do better, I understand that because I
Mhm.
also agree that Rodrigo needs to do
See,
better.
I'm not gonna make this about Rodrigo. I told you, right? Like the blame is not entirely on him alone. But yeah, I expect so much more from my boy Rodrigo. But yeah, big up
For
Tasaliba,
me,
man.
for
Yeah,
me, the
go on.
whole situation is that we are not putting our players in the best position to succeed, right?
100%.
I am open to discussing their faults, but the fact of the matter is the crucial point for me is the fact that we're not putting them in the best position to succeed.
Mm.
As long and when Ancelotti came, the only reason why I was happy about it, and the only reason why I like
He
Ancelotti,
lets his
he lets
best players express. Yeah.
yeah, he's not doing that right now.
Mm.
It's simple as that. So I don't really understand, like, what his choices are and what his decisions are.
I don't know either, man, to be honest. Deron is on chat. Big up Deron. He says, before the season started, I already said that we're not going to win the trophy. The team isn't good. I more so blame Perez than Carlo. He plays what team he has got. Like the team he has got isn't good enough. Yeah,
I mean,
I agree
basically.
with that to an extent, but the fact is, like, before the season started, I said that I'm not going to blame Ancelotti if we play bad. But when he's
Mm.
making decisions like he's benching Chouameni, he's not really putting his players in best positions to succeed, then you have to really question him. Like in these situations, I don't disagree. I don't agree that Ancelotti doesn't have any blame. Like he has
Mm.
to shoulder some of the blame. With the criticism that is coming his way, is like I think is valid.
yeah, man, like totally agree because against Atleti, against Girona, you expect our team to win, right? Forget Man City, we might not have a chance. You can't blame Ancelotti for that. But for these sort of games, you need to get it right tactically so that the team has a chance. And I don't think the team had a chance today.
Athletic kept exploiting our wings, man. Samuel Lino had a field day. We all knew what was going to happen. Remember, like we all sat here for the preview and mentioned Vasquez. Yes, he can't really do anything. It just played out picture perfectly for Athletic. They just knew. Uh, we play narrow. Our wing backs are shit, especially defensively. Right? They ping it down the line and cross it to centre backs who are helped by fullbacks. Both of them, like apart from maybe Rudiger, who is aerially pretty okay. None of them can actually do anything about aerial balls, and the ease with which they cut us through like knife through butter. It was honestly. heartbreaking to watch, man. Like
I think in addition to Vasquez, you also have to blame Fede for the first goal. Like
100%.
he led like,
No intention to press. Just watching the man. What is he doing? What
and
the fuck is he doing?
I've actually said this about him in, like previously as well. You know, people talk about playing him right back, but this is what I always put. Like this was a perfect situation why I don't think Fede can play right back, because he doesn't really have an understanding as to when to press the winger. What Atleti did was essentially they played Lucas 2-on-1, right? They were exploiting him, they were opening him up that way. Even in the third goal, you know, Saul drifts wide, there's an open space behind Lucas and nobody's covering that. So, you know, this was like a tactical massacre from Atleti, if you think about it. They had like Simeone completely outclassed Ancelotti.
But Mo, in my humble opinion, it doesn't take much. At least with this current setup, you know, without Vini, you know, without a reference point.
Fine, I agree with that. But the fact of the matter is, like, Ancelotti doesn't need to make it this easy for the opponent.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That goes without saying. Ricardo is in the chat. Big up Ricardo. He was saying, "How is Carlos still managing this team? He literally never seems to learn. Everybody knows when Atleti plays us, especially at their home, they play us like it's a final." Well, there you go. Rahul is in the chat. Oh, Atleti. You know, I hope Rahul had a good day. You know, one of the few good days in a year that he has. I hope I could send you a couple bottles of, you know, champagne. But yeah, man, Rahul, big up Atleti, I guess, for today. Teron was in the chat. He was saying, for me personally, this might sound weird, but Perez need to be looked at since Cristiano, Marcelo, Ramos extra left. We have not given this team a proper rebuild. In this climate, some of the decision making I can understand, but yeah, as of late, it has been, you know, especially.
I think the highlight of the match, like the highlight of the thing, is like what we're talking about in the chat, right? Mbappe, the obsession with Mbappe.
Yeah. I don't think we need to discuss the Mbappe situation today. I just don't have the energy. He also said if Barca wins this league, this bone needs to step down. Barcelona, who are broke, you know, their squad looks much better than us. Like, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but it does. I have no idea how.
You have to agree with that. You know, they have somehow crawled, begged, stolen, done some stuff.
Remember, I used to sit here and, you know, wish for them to be back. Well, they're fucking back, yeah? Cancelo. Balling is...
Bro, apart from that goal, he was like very poor yesterday.
Yeah.
He was poor, but in the sense they, like, at least Cancelo gives them a much different, you know, edge or dimension to their whole play. Like, do we have a game changer like him? Let's all agree that he's not the best defensively, right? Like, he has his off days. I completely understand. But him from the bench, or even when he's starting, he's an X factor. He's like a Marcelo. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we are praising Barcelona's like team building right now, right? So I think Cancelo is definitely brilliant. For us, I think we wouldn't be in this situation if we had a proper striker.
Simple as this loss was coming because I never was convinced of the previous games we played. Yeah. Well, I sit here as the host after a win. I don't want to hear any negativity, but that's just me. Like, I don't let people spew what they want. Obviously, everybody's entitled to, you know, their own opinions, but on a given night, if we win, like, I would much rather focus on the positives, but unfortunately today it's just impossible. Ricardo was mentioning you never start Modric and Cruz together anymore. How many times have we sat here and described their deficiencies and what their deficiencies are? It's out there, you know, in the form of highlights. You know, if you're sailing the high seas, just go on Pirate Bay, download a fucking full game from last season, you know, even from the season before. When they start together, you need someone like Casemiro, or you need fucking God. You know, you need Jesus to actually help stop some of their, you know, deficiencies from costing us the game. But here we go again, 2023.
I mean,
Modric being 38.
You know, this time it wasn't just about starting Cruz and Modric, man. He started Modric in an unnatural position, and that made things much more worse.
But like, so you just explain this to me, yeah? In a Croatian setup where arguably, if they change the system around, right? I think he is head and shoulders above their best midfielder. Why don't they deploy him in a 10 to help out. Sometimes when I watch Croatia, like apart from their wing backs, they struggle through the middle to actually create, big chances. So if he can play a 10, it can be, much more, worth the while for them. But even they don't play him at 10 for a reason. Because, yeah, on paper, he might be okay. He has played a few games for Spurs, even when he was younger. I remember, like, he has played Cam, but man, you need so much more.
I think to answer your
Go
question,
on, Jack.
when
Yeah.
Ancelotti was asked like who can actually start in attack, I think it was for the Champions League game, and then he basically said, "Oh yeah, Bellingham can play that position as a 9. Joselu we have, and then Modric." He named Modric over Brahim. That's just the mental place where he's at. So
Brahim getting no look at is has been severely bothering me as well. Like it has been going on for a while. Like just for the fact that we have been winning, like all that has been brushed under the rug. But Brahim, whenever he has come on this season, has given it his all, has looked the brightest. But yeah, hopefully this changes his
But
chances.
when it comes to the attack, I kind of feel bad for Ancelotti because he's using like broken pieces and
100%.
unusual pieces. But when it comes to defense, yeah, you have to criticize.
Like what Farouk was crying out. Like I wasn't a huge fan of Marcus Thuram. Like I always felt like he's average, he's good, he has his good days, but he isn't exactly Madrid quality. But the way he fucking scored that belter against Milan, makes me think again.
Now, man, the thing is, like, we already have a player. Like, okay, fine. Marcus Thuram is younger. He's probably, I don't know, maybe little bit better than Joselu. But the fact of the matter, like, we need a quality starting striker. Once you get Joselu, I don't really think going Marcus Thuram is the right way. We should have gotten a better starting striker. We didn't. We were too obsessed with Mbappe.
Let's not talk about it. I have no energy. It hasn't been working for the past 5 seasons now. They do not have the strength, pace, or the energy against these sort of sides. Well, there you go. I sat here 2 years younger, a little less beard, little more leaner, and I said the same stuff, but nobody believed me. But yeah, when they do well, I don't look at all that, honestly. Like you might seem like I might be a flip flop, like it might occur to you that way, but honestly, when they perform and we win, honestly, like I'm not gonna go use my magnifying glass to actually extenuate their shortcomings. I'm never gonna do that. They're family, man. Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. Like to speak against them, it takes a lot, honestly.
I think for me the issue today isn't the fact that you're starting Kroos and Modric together. Is the fact that what are the pieces you're playing alongside them, and what sort of roles are you playing them? And when you're playing Kroos as a 6 and you're playing Modric as a 10, I don't really think that works. He could have done much better. If Modric had played deeper, probably performed better. Playing him as a 10, somewhere where the ball is coming to him as opposed to him dictating the ball. I don't really understand why Ancelotti keeps doing it, because he's done it previously and it hasn't worked.
100%.
When it's not going to work, why do you keep doing it? I don't really understand. It's like,
we all remember the Classico debacle. Classico debacle was false 2 years ago.
False 9.
False 9. I don't get it. Probably a little too much FIFA, I guess. But Ricardo was saying
playing Modric.
No, it's not going to work in FIFA. No chance. If someone has Van Dijk, right, he's going to eat him up. Simple as. Ricardo was saying the coach changes the entire system to accommodate Jude, and the eye test continues to show it doesn't work. I don't know, man. And yet he still continues to set us up to fail. I'm dying to see Carlo and Modric leave. There you go.
I kind of agree with the Jude thing. The whole system is based around getting the best out of Jude, but I don't really think playing as a 10, being creative is like Jude's best position. Like for me, I would like to see him play a little bit deeper, be the box-to-box midfielder that I think he was at Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, but I think playing him as a 10, it's just the way, I don't know, Ancelotti's approaching it. Probably because we don't really have,
have a striker. And he has a real eye for goal. Let's not forget that. Maybe like you said, the two-way job.
He's like, you're talking about having an eye for goal. The fact of the matter, like, this has been his best stretch that he has had. Before that, it wasn't there. So, just based
obviously,
I think if it was just up to Carlo, and if he had like a decent striker, it's a no-brainer. Like Jude would have played deeper, man. But then he's trying to make up for a lack of striker.
I would still I know like Joselu is not the quality of player that we are used to, but I would still be going with a 4-3-3 with Joselu starting.
4-3-3 with Joselu starting and right wing. Let's just say
Fede,
Brahim in this.
Fede,
Yeah,
Fede.
Fede. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, Fede, and left wing Rodrigo.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, Vinicius is injured right now. If Vinicius is fit, you
Yeah.
play Vinny on the left, you play Rodrigo on the right. You start with Joselu, and probably in the midfield you go with Jude and
Jode
Chouameni and
Chouameni
yeah, or maybe a Valverde.
or Cruz. Like Cruz has, like even leaving out his goal, like he has.
As long as you can
Mm,
cover from defensively.
yeah, like was it for the second goal? Cruz was nowhere in the picture, jogging. What can he do? It's not really his strength to claw all those yards back and help out. It's just not his game anymore, at least. Hassan was saying, I need to see a Comunicado Oficial Ancelotti by 9 a.m.
That's not gonna happen. I'm in the same boat, but that's not gonna happen.
Hassan was also saying, Carlo just said Chouameni needed to be rested. For what? For Las Palmas? Bravado. It takes serious bravado to actually, like only the guy with Carlos balls can come to the press conference, especially after a 3-1 loss in the derby and utter those nonsensical stuff, man. Why not rest him against Union? Fuck, my head is on Jupiter. Hassan, I'm gonna resonate with you. My head is beyond Jupiter, beyond. Deron was in the chat. He was saying, can't believe we have players like Lucas playing at right back. Well, we have been saying about, we have been talking about Lucas, and is like, I'm not gonna fault Lucas, man. Honestly, when he has good games, he has really good games. But we all know what he's about. If given the space, he puts in very decent deliveries. Like it's an underrated trait, honestly, especially when we're playing with Joselu. But yeah, we didn't start with Joselu. Why didn't Joselu start? Right? Can anybody explain to me why did Joselu uh, start from the bench?
Maybe
I
he
just
was
can't
also
wrap
being
my head around it.
rested.
Yeah, maybe for Las Palmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I blame Carlo for the loss, but Perez is the one who makes the signings. Prakash Ariel is in the chat. Big up, Prakash. You were saying, sorry, Sana, don't try to overrate this team. And Carlo's tactics, we got overrun in every department. Please watch carefully our previous games. This was coming. Prakash, I completely understand with you, right? Like I said, when we win, I just rather focus on the positives. But I'm not going to sit here and deny that we were overrun, right? Not the Union Berlin game, but we have had signs, especially Sociedad, when we got rinsed left, right, and center. The only reason why I was a huge fan, enthusiast of the 4-4-2 diamond was because Jude was doing his thing, man. And when I see,
Soner
yeah,
was
go on.
blinded by love.
Honestly, when someone steps up and does the job and helps see my team over the line, I'm over the moon, bro. Like I just go to sleep with a smile on my face. That's it. I want to just forget about whatever stinky stuff we did or on a particular match day. But that's just how I am. Um, Dacha was saying Mr. Ancelotti was the problem by starting Modric and Cruz. There you go. So many comments. Tasaliba was saying I really love Carlo, but starting Cruz is CDM again. I have no idea. As a six, he just can't do the job. Apart from his passing, none of his strengths really, does him any favors. Starting at six and getting spanked by City, doing it again is like you love your wife, but if she cheats on you twice, hasta la vista, baby.
Unless the wife is
Hassan
like
was
really
saying,
hot, and then you give her a chance.
yeah, in this scenario, Carlo is a hot prospect, man. What can we do? We can't shy away from the fact. Maybe Farouk doesn't really have a thing for Carlo, but I do. I'm just gonna be shameless here. He's really a hot shot, man, Carlo. Let's not kid ourselves. But Hassan was saying, Simeone just said Joselu helps Jude by creating the space he can run into. Good Lord, our rival coach has more common sense than Carlo.
Yeah, I was actually just reading that. He said Joselu's absence has, them marked Jude out of the game. I don't know.
Reference point, man. Reference point. The commentators.
I think personally that even if Joselu had played, they probably would have marked him out of the game.
Yeah, like I completely see that, when we were playing Barcelona, he was non-existent because if you put two,
And
three man on Jude.
even ignore the fact that what happened in the preseason. Let's just concentrate on this game, right?
Mm,
Jose was in the box. He was totally lost in the box. Like nobody could reach him.
mm,
When Jude was playing, they completely like packed the center, and they had
mm,
nothing to worry about.
mm.
And
Yeah,
the thing is, like when Jude is playing as a 10, what do you expect from your 10? You expect your 10 to unlock defenses, right?
yeah,
You expect them to make those line breaking passes. Like I
yes.
haven't seen
Between the
Jude do
center
that.
backs, between the center back and the
I haven't
fullback.
seen you do that. Is it because of nobody's making those runs, or is nobody making those runs because they don't really expect those
Bro,
passes?
if you
That's the
actually if sorry,
no.
sorry.
So let's see over the remaining season and decide. Because
But
it's enough
to be
to
honest, to give him some credit, like when Vinny and Joselu or Vinny and Rodrigo used to play, he used to be much more inventive with his
no
passing.
man.
He had better options, I feel like.
When you're talking about like we saw this before in the previously, but they scored the goal. The first thought that came into my mind was the fact that yeah, Jude scored goals. He made good runs into the box, and his touch on the ball is pretty silky.
Mhm,
But when you're watching the games, where you got the first game against Bilbao, then the second game against Almeria happened, all those games. Always this has been the story. The first half you look at it and you like holding your head and wondering where the goal is going to come from. What is Madrid doing? And then somehow the luck of the game goes this such that we score a goal and everybody's like, yeah, this is Real Madrid. They're always going to come back. But it doesn't happen always. Today it didn't happen. For me personally, I don't really think that we are creating much in attack. The way
mhm.
a top team should.
Well, I just was always of the impression that whenever I've seen, like you always were very, adamant on your point that Jude really doesn't help much, especially passing wise from the 10. But I always felt like
Right.
if he had the options, he always found them. Jacob, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, even today he almost created the goal, just that Rudiger was offside. Yeah, he does have it in him to play that
Mm,
final ball. It's just that
mhm,
it doesn't happen consistently enough for him to like play. I feel like I agree with Mo with that. He can do it
mhm,
from a deeper position where he's like better. And then if we go back to a 4-3-3 where we just used to playing and we don't look like shitheads just running around the ball. I feel like moving Jude back we have more to gain and then playing him as a 10.
That was the point, Sunil.
mm,
Jacob made a good point. When Jude Bellingham had the ball in deeper areas, he was able to ping in across. That might have resulted in a goal. Sadly, Rudiger was offside, so it didn't count. For me, the thing is like when I see Jude playing in those areas with the freedom, I think he's a much better version of himself. He can always make those runs from deep and get goals, like Lampard used to do for Chelsea. Okay, he's not a Lampard, but I'm just using that as an example. So I think playing in a 4-3-3 is probably going to get the best out of him as well because he is pretty good defending as well. Defensively, he has very high IQ. You have to give credit for him. When he's playing as a 10, that aspect of the game is like kind of getting negated. You know. So for me personally, I would like to see Real Madrid go to a 4-3-3. Yeah, Joselu is not a good player, but you use the striker you have.
100%. Yeah, like, see, the only reason why I was a fan of the diamond was I felt like this might be the solution because it gave me some hope. Not gonna lie. With the 4-3-3, when the season began, I really didn't see us doing much. But remember, like I used to tell you guys, right? Like the diamond, even though we look hopeless, the amount of times something clicked, I was super satisfied. I have no idea why. Maybe I was fooled into a cult, man. But it just happened. Whenever I saw something click with the diamond, I just
Man,
thought
I
that
feel
this
like
might.
at this point we just have like super poor standards because from previous
Mm,
seasons the only thing that used to happen was pass the ball to Vinny. He somehow creates something out of nothing, plays a 1-2, he's withdrawn on goal. But suddenly
mhm.
when we see like Jude putting in a through ball or putting in a long ball and someone getting to the end of it, we're like totally surprised. And we wanted it to work, but that's just not how like you can win against
Yeah,
these bigger teams. You need proper
hundred
tactics.
percent, 100%. Yeah, the way we got found out even against Barcelona, like it was a eye opener. But yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna have to walk a lot of this back when we play against Las Palmas and win with a 4-4-2 diamond.
100%. I'm gonna sit here and praise Jude again because he's gonna come up big. I'm 100% sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess
just
I
to
guess a
clarify,
fourth. Go on.
just to clarify, before you go on, the fact of the matter is like I don't think 4-4-2 diamond works in big games, right? Against
Mm,
us, against like a position of like, let's say, a little bit lower level,
Hmm.
probably we can
Hmm.
use it to great effect. But when it
Hmm.
comes to teams like Atleti and Barcelona and what's going to happen in the Champions League knockouts, uh, okay, one game is like too soon to say, yeah, this formation is crap and everything, but the jury's still out. We'll see how it goes.
100%, 100%. Um, yeah, Dacha was in the chat. He was saying Modric must leave. Yeah, people are super pissed, man. I'm not gonna fault them. You can get it all out, guys. I mean, this was a shambolic performance from every single individual. Like, who was the only bright spark? Who can you say had a Cruz? I guess to an extent. Who else? I can't remember.
In attack,
Everybody
in
else was
attack, I
below
feel
par.
like Kamavinga did well as well. Just in attack.
Kamavinga.
I mean, I think he tried. He was making a lot of runs into the final thirds, but I personally think, like I've always said this, Kamavinga is much better when he's playing deeper. When he goes into the final third, like I don't really like him much.
When he's playing deeper, one of his responsibilities is to defend, man. And the way we conceded, was it the third goal? Was it the second goal? Second
I
goal.
mean, for all three goals, I'll say the fact that the midfield didn't track runners, like you have to fault
Yeah.
them. But I wasn't really sure if Kamavinga was playing the DM or Cruz was playing the DM.
But it's I think it's a problem that plagues the entire fucking team. The amount of effort sometimes, like we all sit here and we just overlook the fact that, oh, these guys put in a lot of effort. Like, effort isn't something that we need to talk about, about our players. We're not fucking Manchester United, right? Like, we have a team ethic, a very strong foundation from which our team sets out to win games, on every fucking match day. But the very fact that I saw Mendy come on and jog back, literally jogging back for counters. I don't understand this, honestly. He came on literally 10 minutes ago, but he just barely broke a sweat to stop a certain counter. But this is how this team is, man. Sometimes I just don't understand how they can start games so slowly, and sometimes how people just give up on causes, man. Like I saw the entire game, not the entire game, maybe the 70, 80 odd minutes, definitely the latter 70, 80 odd minutes of Valencia against Atleti, at the best tire. And Valencia, man, like, I don't know a lot of those players that actually fielded for Valencia, last weekend. Canos, I haven't heard of him, right? Javi Guerra, yeah, I know, but there was a couple of really good players, man. What they did was chase every lost cause. They were just willing to run the extra yard, put their body on the line, and basically just hope and pray that something falls their way. That's how they completely took Atleti apart. Man for man, they worked just super hard. I don't
Yeah.
understand it, man.
With these
Um,
with these older players, man, like you can't do that consistently, right? But the basics you need to track back, and if we are like consistently seeing that these guys don't like care or track back, then it's like they don't believe in the system or they don't believe in Ancelotti. It's like, oh, it's gonna get fucked anyways. They have that feeling that even if I put in the effort, even if I make the run, things are gonna get fucked. So
it's super sad.
why should I make the run then? Yeah.
I mean, personally, I never like to talk about like players and their commitments because they wouldn't
Yeah,
be at Real Madrid because if they weren't
100%.
like committed and making the effort.
100%. It's
For me
just in
personally,
game. They just switch off. Why? I don't
for
understand.
for me that's the point, right? You said in
Yeah.
games they switch off. I think there's an issue with focus,
Mm.
especially when it comes to defensive phases. I think sometimes these guys they think that defending is only the job of the defenders. Probably they're not getting proper instructions from the coaching staff, and this was the point like I was trying to make like earlier when we're talking in the the group chat during the game. I think when it comes to defensive organization, this team is lacking. This management team is lacking. The defensive organization, defending is a team job. You cannot do it individually. One player, one good player cannot do anything. You can have like you can bring Maldini and drop him into this defensive like for this defensive unit. Nothing is gonna change. We're still gonna be conceding goals. That's the thing, right? This coaching staff has to organize the defense better. Like we've seen it consistently when it's transitions, when it's corners, even when it's like players are getting outnumbered in the wide spaces. Nothing has changed. Like we were talking about the same thing last week as well. No trackers from the midfield. Nobody's tracking other opponent players. They're creating overloads on the wings, and nobody's doing anything. And this week, it's the same issue. So sometimes you just have to follow the coaching staff.
Francesco, I'm gonna come after your head tomorrow morning if you're listening. But yeah, man, I really hope we bounce back. Honestly, it has to be
I mean,
levels better than this.
we're definitely gonna bounce back. But the thing is, like, what do Real Madrid want? We want to win titles, you know. So winning against the likes of Las Palmas is important, but when you're losing important games against teams like Atleti, and we'll see what happens against Barcelona. I really think it's like tough to have confidence in this team.
Even before the season began, we didn't have any expectation. Remember, expectations were out of the window. The moment deadline day was
The
locked up,
thing is,
and
like, I
yeah.
completely agree with you that we didn't have
Mm,
expectations. But the reasons we didn't have expectations was the fact that we thought we lacked in attack.
mm.
Right now, the issue is like we are lacking in defense.
But don't you think? Let me put it this way, Mo. Yeah, from a collective point, don't you think it is a domino effect basically? So if we don't have a sharp enough attack, right? If we are toothless in attack, those guys can concentrate on attacking us more than defending. Don't you think that it works in both ways?
Okay, that's a
Mm,
pretty valid point because the
mm,
whole thing works together. The
mm.
attack and defense, they play off of each other. So you're
Yeah.
completely right in saying the
Mm,
attack is worse, so that is having a dominant effect on the defense. But the thing is, like, the defense is totally unorganized, right? I want to see at least some level of organization in the defense. If we understand that our attack isn't going to do much, let's look back to the 1920 season. We knew that it was only Benzema and nobody else in attack, right?
yeah.
So what
Yeah.
did Zidane do? Zidane, like, solidified the defense.
Mm.
I expect Ancelotti to do the same thing when he knows that we don't have anything in attack and we are probably gonna
We
nick like
just
one or
can't.
two
We
goals in
just
a game.
can't.
So
We
let's shut the shop down.
Yeah,
Let's not
100%.
concede goals.
See, like that's a psychology, right? Like I don't understand. Like coming into any game this season, Carlo and his coaching staff are completely aware that we are gonna score less goals than we ever did before, right? In his entire coaching career, he wouldn't have had a side like this ever. Not in Milan, not in Chelsea, not in his first stint, not even for the first 2 years in his second stint, right?
Maybe in
So this
Everton.
is, bro. Let me be honest. Richarlison is a much better reference point, or you could say, for a
Wasn't
particular
he?
purple
Wasn't
patch,
okay. Okay. But my point was
particular.
like I thought
Hmm.
his reference was like DCL and he got injured. So
Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for a
yeah.
particular purple patch, he was pretty good, pretty damn good. So this is something new to him. So coming into a game, shouldn't his mentality and his whole mantra, shouldn't it be about we can't afford to even concede one goal, and we start games in that manner, we start halves in that manner? How? I just don't understand this,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's what I'm saying as well. Zidane created a defensive strategy that made us think that made us believe in Lucas Vázquez as a right back.
Yeah.
So when we know that this is possible if you defend as a unit, if you create that mentality in the team. So that is something that I want from Ancelotti to do right now. Put the attackers in the best positions, put them in places where they can get their best out, and in defense do your magic. Set up something that we are proud of. I think it's not totally out of the realm for Ancelotti to do something with the defense because we've seen how he set up the whole defending scheme that Real Madrid has been using from 2013. He completely changed the team Mourinho had and made them defensively more solid. He helped us win the Champions League. So I think this is something Ancelotti can do. But I don't know why he's not doing it right now.
Right, but sorry. Just give me a second.
Jacob, man, what do you think? You've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any answers to this, man. Like, I feel like, what can I say? Like, Ancelotti has lost his marbles or something. Like, why isn't he like doing this? Because that's what it seems
No,
like from the outside.
but like, what do you think about the whole idea of being stronger defensively?
Oh, I would fucking love to see it, man. Like, that's just my cup of tea. That early Mourinho said, in these, especially in these bigger games, just go all out defense, try to counter attack, get a goal. I'm not sure if this team can actually go and do that counter attack stuff, but there should be phases in the game where we should be able to like totally shut up shop, and if he figures it out, great, man. But I just don't have confidence in him at this moment because
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
just
I think the
doing one bad
organization
decision
is
after
lacking.
another.
Also, another thing I wanted to point out. Sorry, guys, I'm just cold and whatnot. But so if Alaba has a bad game, who comes in apart from Nacho? There's only Nacho who is a proper competition, for these guys. So basically, the defense picks themselves, so they can afford to have bad games after bad games without any proper repercussions. I feel like.
Man, but this wasn't like on the board or Ancelotti. Like, who could have foreseen this long-term injury?
Militao one.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 2 open slots in our team. People were like crying out for a defender. But they said that they're going to use Marvel. So, for me personally, I think, yeah, probably Nacho is the one that comes in and everything. But it's not a fact of it's not like, I am not somebody who believes like if you only have 3 defenders, then people are going to get complacent or anything. Like these guys, there's a reason they're playing for Madrid. They're professional enough. If they are not professional enough, then there's a different question, right? But
Yeah.
the question, we go in with the assumption that these guys are professional enough to put their best always. So for me personally, I expect more from Ancelotti, and I want to see them organize defense better.
Let's get into some of the comments. Right. Hassan was saying, got to say it's Leferland is talented. He comes into a disastrous defense and within seconds looks like the worst. He has to be a gift. Okay, I just baited me into thinking it was a compliment, but yeah. Man, he's not fit, bro. Coming into a game that is going at like 120 miles per hour.
Even man,
we've
seen the same shit even when he was fit, so especially last 2 seasons.
People are incredibly ungrateful, but yeah, it is what it is. Miley was saying, wasn't surprised really. Our team key players are out injured. But the way we suffered those goals is horrendous. Rodrigo needs to be benched for 2 games, and Fran can't play in big games. We get cooked, especially when he's starting. Yeah, I completely understand. When Fran, me and Jacob, we're having this conversation off camera. Yeah, like I honestly don't understand some of the stuff that he does, especially going back when people say, yeah, like he should be allowed the freedom to attack. He's the outlet, he's the outball. He has the pace, roadrunner, blah blah blah. His delivery is just below par. I'm sorry, guys. It has to be at least Lucas Vazquez level to be afforded that kind of freedom. Like, what do you think, Mo, man?
I think the issue is like, okay, first of all, let's clarify this thing, right? I don't think Fran Garcia should be Real Madrid starting left back.
100%.
Okay.
Simple as.
I've said this like countless number of
times. But 5 mil, you get what's on the fucking label,
yeah,
right?
So okay. First of all, I don't think Fran Garcia should be Real Madrid starting left back. The second thing is like I totally think what they said for today is valid. I don't think he was good defensively. I don't think he was good offensively. When it comes to crosses, the issue is like the fact is we don't have anybody to cross into. Like whenever he gets in a position to cross the ball, there were 2 players closing him down. Like this is the guy who was playing for Rayo last year and he was doing better. So it isn't like that he's totally crap. I think he has the need to be at least a backup for Real Madrid. Now, what is happening with him? I don't really have an explanation for that. But overall, like when you say that he shouldn't be starting left back for Real Madrid, I totally agree with you.
But who should be starting?
For me personally, on this, so like the way the team is made up right now, I would take Mendy like any day of the week.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Mendy is my guy, and he'll prove it to you. Like even though he'll have his brain farts, he'll have his off days. He'll be the guy that'll lead us to some light this season. He's the only guy.
Once Winnie comes back, and if you have like for me personally, I think what Ancelotti should be doing is looking towards France and how they won the 2018 World Cup. They played 4 defenders, right, who properly defended. Let the rest of the team have no defensive responsibility. Let them have the freedom to attack. But let's get 4 defenders who can defend. So that's the kind of like style I expect from Ancelotti this season.
Let's just hope, because we need miracles, man. Honestly, most importantly, again, like what people say, we need Jesus. Right. Hassan was saying, Top Wise tried to cook me the other day for saying we should have signed Cancelo on loan. They can hold this. Well,
man, Real Madrid was not signing Cancelo, even if he was like tangled on a free. If he said I will play.
Yeah, because of his off the field issues.
I don't think I don't ignore the offer issues. He's
Hmm.
represented by Jorge Mendes. Unless and until that player, like
Oh, that is also a factor. I just
a
forget about all
differential
these
player,
guys.
a differential player, Real Madrid is not going to sign Jorge Mendes players
Mm,
unless he's somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo. I really doubt it.
Yeah. Who is the next big guy under Mendes
I mean, there
these
are a lot of
days?
players, right? There are a lot of players. Look at him when he
Is
first came.
Liao represented by him?
I don't know, honestly,
Mm,
but I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
mm. Hassan was saying, Ancelotti, I won't change the system. This game will help us to fix some things. I think he said. Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't change the system, the same thing that I said in the preseason. Let's start making bets on who the next manager for Madrid will be.
If he gets sacked mid-season, is Xabi Alonso going to be the guy coming in? I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
he'll leave.
I don't know, man. It's like too early to tell. Let's see what happens.
I just hope that's not the case. Honestly, it's.
I will say, we should buy a razor for Zinedine Zidane. He might need it soon enough.
I've been seeing him, sporting that beard, especially for the EAFC events and shit. He
Yeah.
looks nice, man. But yeah, that
Buy
beard
him a
needs to go.
razor.
Prakash was saying today majority is talking about the defensive mistake, but we conceded goals in every game. It is all about our formation. In modern football, 4-4-2 is really easy to play against.
Man, I don't really think we considered goals. Like, did we consider? I think we considered like 3 goals before, like, today. Wasn't it?
Sociedad, Celta,
And Almeria.
Almeria. Mm. Well, Prakash, I'll tell you something. Yeah, like City
But I
when
think
they
I
gone
think
gone.
Prakash has a very point when he's talking about defense, but there's a
Mm.
reason why we weren't talking too much about it. I mean,
But I have a counterpoint to it. 4-4-2 has been slowly coming back into the modern game. So many top coaches have been using one or the other variant of it to great, success. City, to an extent, they play some sort of a pseudo 4-4-2. I feel like, right? Like even last season, their whole hulala with their, centre back in midfield, I think is essentially some sort of a variant of a 4-4-2. But yeah, it is what it is. Smiley was in the chat. He was saying the problem is the defending. Yeah, we all know that, man. Honestly, when Alaba is screaming at Camavinga, that's your man. You just wonder, You just wonder. Alaba, 31 years of age, screaming at a guy who is not a defender to begin with, right? About marking a man who is like
You're a
the size of
substitute.
Morata. Yeah, like I don't
by the
understand.
way, I heard like De Ligt had a good game last game for Bayern.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Alaba only has 1 year left on his contract. If Florentino is listening, maybe time to make some changes in the defense.
man, I just hope that Alaba, comes back to his powers, man. Because when he's on top of his game, when we are working in tandem, Alaba looks unbeatable. Like to be
So,
fair to him,
so
yeah,
that's
go
a
on.
fair point. That when he's on top of his game, he's pretty brilliant.
Mm.
But even when he's on top of his form, he's not good aerially.
Really, yeah. We all talked about this whole season, right? Like even the year before, last year. Credit to him. I'll give him one good thing from tonight's performance. That sliding interception from Samuelino's cutback to I think he intercepted the ball before it got to there was at least 3 on runners. I think one of them was Griezmann, Morata, or someone. Like I felt like that was it, 3-0. But no, 2-0. Sorry, 2-0. And yeah, like that was a brilliant interception. Sliding in, good shit. I was thanking the heavens, but yeah,
I'm sorry, but I don't remember it. I was
you don't
probably
remember
crying
it,
too
yeah?
much. Yeah, I was probably crying too much.
Yeah,
Couldn't see the thing past my tears. So.
Kepa also kept us in the game at
Yeah,
1-0.
Kepa was he was decent.
Decent,
When
but
did he
don't you
keep us in
think
the
some
game
of
then?
them?
Huh?
Yeah, like
No, there was a one save. Remember the cutback? I don't remember,
the
from the
Saul
right
one.
side.
The Saul one.
Yeah, I think Saul one,
Yeah,
Saul one
that was good.
through the legs of Rudiger or something,
For
right?
me personally, I think the fact is like he's poor in crosses, he's poor on
Yeah,
contact, so that sort of
yeah.
like somehow hurts us, especially when we have like apart from Rudiger, nobody's good aerially. Let's put it this way. So
Yeah, I'm just dying, man. Kepa, at least on one of those goals, if it was Thibaut, that's not a goal, I don't think.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
with Courtois, you at least have this hope that he's going to come out for crosses, try to claim and contest them. With Kepa, he's not going to do that. So
like even if Thibaut misjudges his position and the header, like it was on target, at least Thibaut saves one of them. But yeah, that's just me. Like with crosses, we all know man is a fucking mountain, man. Right. They're almost saying we don't have any attackers, no good defenders. That's the thing. Only midfielders. Hmm. Look at Bayern. Doesn't have a good defense, but their attackers can outscore anytime. We do not have that. Yeah, 100%,
I
man.
think Bayern has a good defense. What they have is a bad manager.
In Tuchel, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Tuchel keeps crying every time.
Hmm. He's a whiny guy. He reminds me of my landlord. They look similar as well. It's fucking creepy. Rachid is in the chat. Big up yourself, Ali. He was saying Zidane has to come back as soon as possible. Man with the magic wand, like he can make any situation. I'm guaranteeing you this. Yeah, I'm a huge Carlo fan, but Zidane coming into this, we might probably win at least one trophy this season. That's how
Not
good
the
he
Copa
is.
del Rey. Obviously, not Copa del Rey, though.
Not Copa del Rey. So that makes our odds even better, no? Right? Like this man, like when he walks into something and like spreads his touch, spreads his mantra on it, like bro, we are definitely getting saved. But yeah, I don't want Carlo to be sacked either. It's just
Yeah, I think it will be a little bit too early.
mm,
Overreaction.
mm.
Let's see how Ancelotti deals with it.
Classico is
Give them.
coming up in less than 2 months, right? I think in a month and a half, right?
I mean, we'll see. Let's see how the results are between now and then.
Napoli away. Napoli's not performing well recently, but yeah, like if it was last year,
I think the Girona game is going to be a big marker.
hmm,
But we'll see how it goes.
Girona is going to be a proper test, man. Honestly, watching them, Alex Garcia and like guys like those, I don't understand how you're going to just stand a chance because they look so fucking fluid. Honestly, like how do they play such good football, man? Like, but yeah, right. Hassan was saying, Fala Mendy will lead us to a light. He's questioning
And
my opinions.
we wouldn't have won the Champions League without Furlong Mendy.
Without Mendy, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, man.
So
That's
you
why.
have to be
That
thankful
that
there.
Mendy was different, man. Like this is not the Mendy that won us the Champions League.
Yeah, I do agree that injuries have robbed him of his rhythm and his best abilities. But I still believe in Mendy. He'll chain a set of, a run of games
But
together.
again,
and
I'm
he'll be
gonna
back.
I'm gonna stand on the same point, man. It is a domino effect. Like missing someone like Casemiro bothers him as well. Let's be honest, it bothers him as well.
Jacob, don't you think that we have seen some character development in Suned from last episode? Last time he was talking about if somebody is not in the picture, do not blame them. Today he's like talking about domino effect.
True, I'm just going back on my stuff. Yeah, like on a particular night, like what I feel is what I feel, man. But today, I see the whole picture. Maybe I didn't have the extra zoom that you had, man. More, but
Yeah, character
yeah.
development. I'll put it down to.
Fuck off. Right. Smiley was saying, yeah, Alaba had a bad game, and Morata turned into Zlatan. Morata, man, oh my god, 2 goals, to a fucking bum. Honestly, this guy, and we
Morata has always been good aerially.
yeah,
I
I
don't know what you
know.
think.
I know, but bro, he's an average player. Let's be honest. Like he has his good days. Like I'm not gonna say he's absolutely shite, but it just goes to show. Even when we know what Atleti is gonna do, we just can't do anything to prevent it. We all knew this is gonna happen. Anybody covering the back post, even when Carvajal and Fela Mendes fit, both are not aerially good.
Mendy's
I have
pretty
no
good.
idea.
Mendy's
Mendy's okay. Mendy's better. Yeah. But even then, why does Alaba just go chasing shadows? Like he should know that the guy behind him really can't do much.
Man, the thing is,
Kamavinga.
so if Cristiano was the one doing this, and then Morata did the same thing, right? He initially faked that he was going to go near post, and then that's how Alaba went to
Yeah,
post,
yeah,
and then he went far
yeah.
post. Like if it was Cristiano, we would say, "Oh man, that was a genius moment from him, and there's nothing to be done." But since it's Morata, we're like saying, oh, like it's Alaba's fault.
Yeah, the
Well,
thing
I
is,
have
the
go
thing
on,
is
go
like
on.
with Cristiano, you know that he's gonna pull off something like this. With Morata, you don't really expect this, so you expect your defender to do better.
Yeah.
You know. But apart from that, I actually read an interesting point on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Mm.
There was somebody in the Spanish media was talking about. He said that while Alaba was like mispositioned on a lot of crosses, it was due to Rudiger running out continuously
True.
and
That's
guiding
also
the
true.
position.
That's also true. Yeah, yeah, that's also true. Because if you notice for the second goal, the one where Alaba screams at Kamavinga, Rudiger is doing his own thing. So basically, Alaba has to, move his side closer to Rudiger to cover the space as well. That's also true. I think it's a combination of factors, but man, these centre
We need a
backs, they're
lot
not
more. We need a lot more discipline defensively.
honestly like like we see now, like even with Militao's brain farts, he's much more adept positionally. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, man, like honestly, it's just makes me wonder how good were Ramos, Pepe, and even Prime Varane, like how good were they to actually marshal our defense for all those years. Just goes to show there's levels to this game, you know. Rudiger in the back four, remember, you guys used to tell me you can't really trust the man, every day I wake up to that. That has what my life has come to, man. It is what it is. Yeah, you know. From the academy, Mo, do we have any hope? Marvel, I don't think he's really that great, but um,
Man,
guys who are out on loan, any chance?
I don't really think like there's anybody you could pinpoint and say, yeah, this guy's gonna come in and do a bang up job because
Hmm.
they're the academy for a reason. I think
Hmm.
the team expects Marvel to step up. He's good on the ball, but I don't know how good he is like positionally and everything. We'll see. I think Rafa Marin, if he had been
Rafa
playing,
Marin.
this might have been a chance for him. But he's
Mm.
at Alaves now, and like Rafa Marin is not starting at Alaves. Like some games he's starting, some games he's not. So I don't know how he would have done at Real Madrid. So
I mean, for me, like even if Prime Ramos was like playing for Castilla, Ancelotti wouldn't call him up. Probably Ceballos would play centre back more
a very
because
valid point, man.
yeah,
Even when the news broke about Militao's injury, they said that he would play Chouameni at center back before he calls up the Castilla players.
yeah.
For me personally, I don't know. I think Real Madrid should have taken a chance on bringing Ramos back for a year or something.
100%. But it was gonna depend on Perez going back on his whole
Yeah, I
thing.
think there were some issues with the agent and everything.
Mm. His brother's his agent, right, Ramos? So
Jaime Ramos.
there you go. I would have really loved that, but yeah. Marco Grady was saying the defending looked amateur today. 100%, man. Completely amateurish. Ashik is in the chat. Big up Ashik was saying, how does everyone feel about the reality check we just got? We are getting our asses handed to us in the Clasico. 100%.
Jacob feels like a man with a beautiful wife. So.
Saliba was saying the thing is, even if we sack Carlo, at the moment there is nobody better who can replace him. Maybe at the end of the season we can look at Alonso. Mm. Right. One little thing that we didn't address, I feel like Fede had a 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10 game. Couldn't make a 5-yard pass. Didn't really have an impact. Placeholder performance from a guy that we expect so much from. Am I being harsh, guys?
I need to check something before I answer that, but I'll let Jacob go first.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's just a coordination between him and the rest of the team, especially on the right hand side. He didn't communicate well
Mm.
with Nacho or
Mhm.
Lucas Vasquez. There's a lot of misplaced passes and stuff. But during that phase where the whole team was doing good, the second part of the first half, that part, Fede was really good. He kept onto the ball. He kept the ball moving. He actually, in the second half, I guess he played the ball over to Joselu as well. So he did
Mhm.
have some moments where he was good, but it's just that communication totally broke down on that right side of our team today. And not sure if we can like fully blame him, but there's someone to blame for sure.
Mo, anything to add?
Yeah, for me personally, I think the issue was with the formation. We have like already talked about this. Like it's like a horse. We keep beating. The fact, like for me, the thing is like when Modric wasn't like when it wasn't coming off for him as a 10, he has this tendency to drop deeper, and Valverde was like starting in that position. So Valverde has nowhere to go to. I think he started drifting out wide, and there were some moments where I thought he was decent. Other moments, as you rightly said, he was pretty poor. Defensively, I think he could have done better. Stopping those crosses coming in for the first goal. I think it was completely at fault. But overall, I don't really think that I'm gonna be looking at this game and saying, "Oh yeah, this player was bad, that player was bad." For me personally, I think this defeat is totally on Ancelotti. I personally think that he put the players in a bad position. So I'm
Mm.
not really going to blame anybody.
Sid, who was at the stadium, he was constantly reminding me, Fede, man, I don't know what he's up to. Honestly, what he has gotten into. I was telling him, you can't pinpoint it on him. But the moment I started watching him closely, he just really looked out of sorts, man. It really hurts to see, our bright spots just go missing. Honestly, today is a day to forget, but tomorrow is a new day. Jacob, do we have a preview lined up? Hopefully, Las Palmas.
Definitely, man. We will do all of the previews.
Tuesday, you think is gonna be a good day? Check with Farouk, yeah. But yeah, so tomorrow is a good day. Tomorrow is a new dawn. Las Palmas is a game at home that fortunately we have all the right to win, and hopefully we do, because the game after that is a trip away to Girona, which is not gonna be pretty. We're gonna be maybe having another therapy session like we did today. I just hope
I hope.
it's not
I
the
think.
case.
I think for the last Palmas finish is going to be back. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be a big boost. It's going to be, a good getting into rhythm, game for him, ahead of Girona and then Napoli midweek. It's a big couple of weeks
And Sunil, even
for
if we
us.
lose all of those,
Yeah,
you don't need therapy. You have EAFC 24. So
relax, man. Do you think I just after this game go back into my game and play gleefully? No, because all of my players are.
Personally, I always imagine after a defeat going and opening up EAFC and deciding whoever beat us, you're gonna play them, and turn the
I
game
know, I know.
on to beginner mode. Somehow
That used to be a ritual when I was like 9, 10, 11. But I never used to play. I'm just saying, when I was younger, um, that used to be a thing. But now, man, I just don't
but
feel like,
Sunil, one question,
hmm, go.
doesn't saying EAFC like it sounds like a mouthful, right? FIFA was like it just rolled
Yeah,
out of the
FIFA
tongue.
has a ring to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all grew up with, calling the game, FIFA. EAFC is just a terrible attempt to rebrand their thing, man. But what can they do?
and even PES
Uh,
sounds better, 100% better.
Even PES is not PES anymore. You know that, right, bro?
Yeah,
eFootball.
eFootball.
Yeah. So
But even
so
eFootball is like smoother to say. EAFC is like it's like too hard work.
I know, but we are cooking, yeah, in a month and a half. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Don't worry about the glitches. I face it every day. Do you know what happened, Mo? So on when was it? Friday. Or was it Friday? Or was it Saturday? I didn't play yesterday. Friday. Okay. I had like 1 hour before work. I'm like, oh man, let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. Okay. Put up the game. 3 games back to back. I can't make a sub. I can't pause the game. Imagine. I'm sitting here playing with my players on empty while this guy he is making quick subs. 3 games back to back. So man, glitches happen. They fixed
Uh,
it. Thankfully today it didn't happen. So
I'll just say you spend $40 well, extra $40.
yeah, I know. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Yeah, grown men make mistakes, man, but it's for all for the love of the game. Right, a few more comments before we kind of wrap this up. Tasali was saying, I mean, Fernando Alonso, the F1 driver, maybe he can transmit some energy from his engine to this team. Man, even Fernando Alonso, he would, grow out his old gray hair.
Alonso has his own set of troubles right now, complaining about Aston Martin and everything. So
Oh,
I
really?
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't follow it F1 much. I used to, but not anymore. Hassan was saying there was a different Mendy now. He's cooked physically and it somehow cost his footballing ability to evaporate. Let it go. It's over. Right. I have nothing to say, man. I hope he, proves all of you guys wrong. I honestly believe that he has it in him. to actually do it. Hassan was also saying Ancelotti and academy players does see no. We'll see Ceballos play at CB before any Castilla player. Yeah, going back on what we mentioned. Smiley was saying, why does our ex-players love to dunk on us? Kubo and Morata, Latasa and others masterclasses are coming. Yeah,
I mean,
Why?
we already played Hetafe. Mayoral scored, so you shouldn't be.
yeah, yeah.
Where does
He'll feel left out.
Latasa
You didn't
play
mention
again? Like Las Palmas?
Hetafe.
Hetafe, Hetafe,
Oh, okay.
Hetafe.
He scored today.
He scored today. Header or something, no?
Yeah,
Mm.
against Larial.
It was a good game. 4-3. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, people. Big up every single one of you in the chat. I hope this turnout, even when we win, yeah? Like, I hope you're Madridistas, honestly, like when we win, you guys should be in full force. But yeah, I guess maybe to rant and, get some relief, you guys were, all in the chat. But big up yourselves. I hope, we could, give you a bit of a cool down after that. I needed it. I didn't think I had it in me to do this tonight, but we had to, like Mo said in the beginning, show our faces. I hope this is a wake up call. This is a much needed wake up call. If this happened somewhere later down the line, it would have been even harder to take. I guess this is a much needed reset button that we stumbled upon tonight in the form of Atleti. They can win and carry this with them to their grave. They're not going to do anything this season, not win even a single trophy. I don't believe, with their current setup. So this is their big Champions League final. They won it. Big up to the El Pupas. And yeah, let them celebrate it. But for us, we have higher priorities. We have much bigger aspirations. I hope we reach at least somewhere near it this season, man. Any final thoughts, Mo? Jacob?
I don't know about final thoughts, but this is going to be an interesting trivia round of trivia. The only two times Real Madrid had lost at Metropolitano, Ancelotti has been the manager both times. So.
When was the previous time?
It was the 21-22 season after we won the league.
Yeah, that was the
yeah. I think last time we won.
The B team played, I think that time.
Yeah.
The last year we won, right? Chouameni, Rodrigo goal. That's always gonna be like printed on my heart.
Rodrigo sexy finish.
Yeah. We lost again.
Jacob, anything to add?
No, man. Like everyone said, it's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks. I just hope we are still alive in all of the competitions. I just don't want to give up La Liga so soon.
Yeah. Barcelona, they don't look nowhere near, their last year's, solid selves. Like I think we have a chance, but the way they came back at Celta Vigo, man, I just at home. Sorry, at home.
Couldn't believe it.
Honestly, I was watching the game. I was talking to our resident.
I actually felt that they were better. They were better. Like they're better this year because offensively they look much more confident. Like last season, their defense carried them through. They would score one goal and shut up shop. But this season, they seem to have no trouble scoring goals.
I just feel like Lewandowski's stiffness just makes me think otherwise. I don't know. I just feel like they
I think
don't
they have
look
other players who can step up.
100%. Lamal and Rafinha's in good nick. Everybody's striking. Especially apart from I think Lewandowski. People are coming into their own for Barcelona.
Even Lewandowski scored twice yesterday, right?
Yeah, he did. Well, I hope he gets back to his TikTok shenanigans, man. I just can't stand the sight of him, honestly. One of the most least likable guys out there. He's just, you see his face, you feel like punching it, but yeah, it is what it is. Right. Yeah, big up everyone on the chat. Big up every single one of you who listen to us on audio platforms as well. Friendly reminder, I think our voting, final round of voting for the Football Content Awards at Rio opens tomorrow. Happy to let you guys know that we are one of the shortlisted finalists for two categories, Best International Podcast and Best Club Content Creator International. I hope you guys show the same level of support that you guys showed us during the nomination phase. This is the last hurrah, and I need every single ounce of support and help that you guys can shower us with. Really looking forward to it. It'll be posted. The link will be posted on our stories, on the YouTube posts, under the description of the subsequent lives, videos, all of that. Big up Sid also in Madrid, in enemy territory, doing fan cams outside Sevita's Metropolitano. We have some interesting fan cams, he said, from tonight, so show it some love as well. Big up him as well, running down with fever, but he just found some inner energy to actually go down there and do this despite some unforeseen technical difficulties and whatnot. But yeah, people, much love for the love. Until next time, Ala Madrid.
Hello,
Real
Madrid.
Madrid.